So what time you finish? What time you finish today?
When I got home, it's already 6:30.
Wow, too much work.
Yeah, sometimes a bit of.
Yeah, that's why I really appreciate that you taking your time because we love to hear your story and your journey. What time you finish? What time you finish today?
When I got.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, what's wrong with my camera? Oh, okay. Seems to work now.
Vậy không phải Facebook được.
The problem.
Yeah, I can see you now. Yes, yes.
Yeah, but I need to put a tripod on.
Okay. Em có em share YouTube trên Facebook. I'm coming to Queensland in about 1 month time for a conference, so I'm very excited. So first time to Brisbane. So
You will love it. The weather here is so good.
okay, yeah, over here it's so cold right now. Doesn't mean
Yeah.
we can't afford to wear a shirt like that. Is a luxury for us.
Yeah, because I used to stay in Hobart for about for about 1 month.
Okay.
Yeah, that's back to. Oh, why it's so bright?
Yeah, it's quite bright. Yeah, it's quite bright.
I probably just turn off the phone. Wow, it's making it so yellowish.
And that's fine if you don't mind. I'm okay with that. That's not a big deal.
Yes, so bad.
If you're okay, yeah, we're okay.
Okay, cool.
Sure. So Fuchun, so what we're gonna do today, right, is really I'm trying to keep it under 30 minutes. Is really to learn more about your journey, to learn about your experience, where you came from, and how you got to where you are today, and to hopefully can inspire some of our mechanical engineering students who are struggling right now. And I think you know, as a migrant, there's a lot of extra expertise when it comes to employment. So that's why we'll invite you today. So are you ready to start? So we should start right away.
Yeah, of course.
So just before we start, so how do you want me to introduce you as a mechanical engineer from SEED engineer, is it?
From SEED, yeah.
SEED engineers, yeah.
So
I just introduce you as a mechanical engineer and a drafter, yeah?
Yeah, I do the both because actually it's kind of yeah, this is some point I want to something I want to point out because these days the project can be a little bit complicated. So nowadays I think a lot of companies they prefer to have someone who can do design and drafting together. Because in the old days in companies they always have drafter and engineers separately and they do their own job, but the issue is sometimes the drafter they don't really understand the project and they mess around everything. Actually my company they just experienced one like a very terrible project, and the drafters make some mistake, and the engineers they were when they delivered drawings, they were in rush and they make a very significant mistake, and they paid a lot of money to compensate for the lawsuit. That's
wow, that doesn't sound good.
Yeah, that's really horrifying. So my boss he decided to find someone who can do both design and drafting, because when everything in your mind you cannot mess around, right? So it's kind of an advantage for someone who has the kind of more competent abilities to work. Yeah, that kind of thing. So
got you. So let's just start with a bit about yourself first. So for those who do not know about you, Fuchun CHEN, Can you tell us about where you came from? When you come to Australia? What about and how do you get to where you are today? So tell me about a bit about yourself first of all to our audience.
Basically, my name is Fuchun CHEN, and in Chinese called Chen Fuchun. So basically, here everything is the other way around. I came here around 2016 in February 2016, and I spent the first year doing my working holiday in Melbourne, in Tasmania, in New South Wales. So basically, all the major cities have been visited. And after in the first year, I kind of developed my English skills a little bit more. And I found there's a very good chance for me to apply for a residency. So the second year, I stayed in Sydney to study English. I was on a student visa, and just doing my IELTS test, because when you apply for residency, the EA Engineers Australia, they recognize IELTS only at that time. So you have to do IELTS and get your qualifications certified here. So that's what I did in the second year. And third year, I got my residency and I moved to Canberra. And I met my wife there. So Canberra is, it's a lovely, it's a lovely city for me, for both of us. And also Canberra actually it has quite a few jobs there, because Canberra in terms of city, the size is okay, the population is all right, but because of the federal government, they spend a lot of money in innovating infrastructure every year. So there are quite a few projects ongoing. So they need someone who can do the job. So Canberra is kind of a job-rich city. So anyone who want to step into the industry, maybe Canberra is a bit of a good choice to consider of. So
for engineering, you're talking about, right?
For general engineering and basically everything else, because Canberra is kind of a in terms of opportunities, the number of opportunity and to the population, I mean the ratio, it's kind of on top of the range in Australia. Actually, a lot of people overlook Canberra, but actually it's a good place to start your career, I think. And I landed in my first job after 2 weeks of I get my residency. So kind of a really good place to start with. And I heard some very similar stories around me back to that time. So I think it's kind of a good advice for the guys who may be interested. Yeah. And
you say when you say you got the first job, I saw it over here. Is it the air conditioning? No. What sort of job was that when the first one you got?
It's kind of a project engineer job. It's involved a bit of design and a bit of drafting, and also site work and site supervision like that. Yeah. So it's kind of a mixed job. And I spent 1 year in the first company, and after that, because they lost a few jobs and they became very quiet. So I think it doesn't worth the time to stay there. So I just searched for another one, which is energy action. I do some energy auditing and neighbors rating stuff for them. And basically, and for another year. And after that, I just relocated to Brisbane last April, and I found a seat in Brisbane here. So basically, this is my 5-year journey in Australia. Yes, it's quite of a
nutshell in the summary, isn't it? In the summary, that's how we did it. So let's just go to the because I'm very curious about the first job that you got in Australia, because I guess just like everything else, the first one is always the hardest. In most cases, it's always
Mhm.
the hardest. Is it the same case for you? The first job, is it the hardest for you to land? Do you experience that as well?
Yes, I think so. You mean by first job? You mean in
The first job
general
in
the job?
Australia, was it hard for you to land? I mean, in your profession.
Oh,
Um,
professional job. Yeah, my profession. Because I spent my first 2 years without a permanent residency, and in that time it's really hard to find a professional job, because whenever you submit your application to the employer, they always worry about your stability. Yeah,
mm,
because Australian economy is kind of make up by a lot of small to medium-sized companies, and they want results immediately. A lot of them, they just don't want to waste the time on training new guys and training young engineers. So it's a bit of hard for the fresh graduate. So I get my first professional job after my residency was granted. So basically my first advice will be get your residency, get your long-term visa ready, even it's maybe a 485 or 419 or something, 491. If you can, yeah, if you can prove to your potential employer, you can deliver the result in a relatively stable manner. So yeah, that's the first and most important
So what
thing.
you're saying is as an employer, they really care about the commitment, the duration that a job, an employee can work for them, isn't it? They want someone who can stay with them for a long time.
Yeah, of course. And, even if you are running a company, you of course you are expecting someone to deliver the results in a constant or maybe a relatively stable way. Otherwise, as a business is a serious thing. You can't just jump in and get make some short-term activities, and then you just disappear for no reason. So no one really wants that. Yeah, it's quite
Sure.
understandable and very reasonable. Yeah.
Yeah, because for you, as we spoke before the podcast, you say you already have some experience from overseas, from China, am I right?
Basically, I get my qualification back to 2004 to between 2004 to 2008 in Tianjin, which is the second largest city in North China, and I graduated in 2008, which is a very horrible memory. The global financial crisis was occurred that year, and basically there's no opportunities that was open back to that time. Because China was a kind of a export focused economy, and at that time, when the outside is not good, China will be in trouble as well. So that time is very, very few job opportunities was available, and a lot of my classmates, they just found their job after half year or 1 year, even some of even later than that. But I was kind of lucky, and I got my one immediately after my graduation. So I spent a few years working for a cool room company, and I worked for decking the VRV air conditioning company, and also for another Canadian company for doing kind of a project design, project management, and also drafting. So basically everything.
Mm.
Mhm.
Because this is the question I have all the time is a lot of the job nowadays, they do require the candidate to have somewhat level of experience, but
Mhm.
if they don't have the opportunity in the first place, then obviously it will be very hard for them to gather some experience. What would be your suggestion for those people who are in those situations? Is they want to get a job, but because they don't have experience to get the job, and it's like a chicken and egg problem.
Yeah,
So
it's
what would
kind of a,
be your
I
suggestion?
don't
How
know, it's a that loop for that circulation, like, yeah, it's quite understandable. And the situation, according to my experience, the truth is always the same, because no one wants to pay for someone who can't work and who can't deliver the result. And when you have no chance, you can't really get the experience. That's kind of a what's that? Dilemma or dilemma? I can't remember. So my suggestion is, this is not your problem. This is the problem of the society. This is the problem of the system. So how to break it? Basically, what we experienced last year is kind of similar to 2008, but in a different way. Last year is a healthy issue, and 2008 is a financial crisis. So, but the hardship people facing was pretty much the same thing. So my suggestion is start from your interest, start from your hobby or whatever area you really care about, you truly love, and do some of your own personal project, and in that way you can prove your ability and you can prove you're ready to do something. Yeah, that's most important thing. You don't have a personal project can be a design, or can be like a how to say that? It's if you do IT, maybe it's easier. You can do a personal coding or personal program. It's kind of relatively easy. But if you do engineering, you can try to build something and try to rebuild or kind of mimic some existing project. Just like if you want to be a drafter, if you want to be a drafter professional, you can just do your own project and put your final picture, the good ones, nice looking ones, on your resume, on the top page, on the first page, or even on the last page. It doesn't matter. Just show your potential employer you can do something, you can deliver the result. Maybe the first time it's kind of hard, kind of not that good, but when as the time going, you can do a bit more, a bit better, and a bit faster. So basically, I don't, because all the time your employer, and maybe your line manager, they are always older than you, and they can identify the people who has a right potential or right working attitude. That's a key thing, because when you're fresh out of the university, everyone looks the same, everyone have similar resume, but when you hand in your resume with some beautiful project you have done, maybe don't need to be beautiful and fancy. Just show your capability. That's it. Done.
Got you. So what you just said was, for someone who maybe looking for work is a draft person, maybe they can do some drawing themselves, isn't it? They can
of course. If you do architecture, you can just mimic the building, like a very famous building, like the skyscrapers in like a Middle East or whatever city. Just build a full model by yourself. It doesn't matter how much time costs you, how much energy you spend on that. As long as the result works, you get your job and you step into the industry. And this is as you already know, this is a way to break the the dead circle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It is. And then just now you talk to us about the air conditioning. So it seems like when I look into your profile, it seems like you've been working in that industry for quite a few times, isn't it? Like the air conditioning industry.
Mostly air conditioning, heat pumps, solar energy, and other similar stuff. Yeah.
Do you think that it's growing strong at the moment, air conditioning or this HVAC? Do you think it's growing strong now, and there's a good demand for mechanical engineer at the moment?
Yeah, of course. Actually, these days I keep receiving phone calls from the agent guy. They ask me to ask for my availability, but I say no, because last year my employer was offered me a job in the really hard time, that. So I want to contribute my energy a little bit more, not don't do like that. So it's kind of a loyalty and your professionalism.
Yeah. So let's say for a fresher who just finished his or her mechanical engineering degree, would you suggest them to start exploring more about the air conditioning industry? Because my understanding is, as a mechanical engineer, you can work in multiple industry, isn't it? There's a lot of different industry.
I would say it's wrong or right. The wrong part is you can't really working in multiple sectors within mechanical, because mechanical is a very, very broad range of professional area. And the building service, mining, and also in China, because we have a lot of different industries. Some of my colleagues, some of classmates, my university classmates, they do what's that? The plant, the generation, what's that? Electricity generation plant or something like that. And also a few of them, they do combustible engine and this kind of things. So mechanical is a really, really broad range of subject. So you can't really jump between 1 to 2 or 2 to 3. I think it's most of the time it's not going to happen. So basically, my suggestion is just to focus on one specific area or section you are interested in, and just develop your skills in that specific area only, if you choose the right one. Yeah.
Got you. So let's say for mechanical engineering, other than the HVAC, what else are the areas that they can choose to major themselves in, Fuchun?
I think in Australia, because I'm relatively new to Australia, I don't really understand the opportunities behind very well. So I think the mining is quite a good one, because mining here in Australia is not what you may thought of. They all mechanical equipment involved. You just need to maybe run the a program or operate the oh no, you can't really operate the machines. Probably just design the ventilation system, because in mining site, it's really critical to have proper ventilation. Otherwise, people will have some healthy issues, and also some. I think mining is the biggest business, and also the building service. But when you're talking about building service is kind of a very mature industry, and basically everything is already established. And so the opportunities are there, but you can't really make something very significant. It's kind of very stable industry. You can't get very rich. You can't really get very very poor, but yeah, just in the middle, or maybe a little bit above the middle. Yeah, that's it.
I got you. So you say mining, you say building services. These are some areas they can look at. How about, for example, steel fabrication or those sort of things? Do you think they need a drafter as well for those welding companies or steel fabrication companies?
Yeah. Yes. But steel fabrication is more like materials. It's more related to materials or civil work. I don't think it's very close to mechanical, but specifically for the what's that, the pressure vessel manufacturers, yeah, they are heavily involved mechanical knowledge. Yeah.
So what you said pressure, sorry, I missed
Yeah,
out that.
the pressure vessels, like the boilers and the gas stations, like these things.
Yep, boilers. Yep. Oh wow, very great. Okay, which bring me to the next question, which would be like, Rob, because you've been in the industry for a long time now, and what do you see are some of the most common mistakes, maybe graduates or people who are looking for jobs making that prevents them from landing the job? Is there some mistakes you keep people seeing, keep making?
Yeah, I think I already replied this to your email, and yeah, I just want to repeat that. Don't make mistakes in your resume, because the resume is some kind of your face before your employer can physically see you. So that's your personal image. You can't afford to corrupt it. So basically, just make sure, double check, triple check your resume before you send it, and also your cover letter. And another point is when you do when you do your cover letter, just make sure you you address all the key points which was required by the position description. And if you can match that point, just address it. If you can't match the point, you can just say, maybe I need a little bit more time, or maybe other effort to accomplish to be there. So yeah, this kind of things are really important, because actually currently my company, they are hiring, but the HR received like a 14 resumes. But when my boss reads through all of them, all of them just go to rubbish bin.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
really. Yeah, it just happens last week.
So what you're saying is when they do the cover letter, they need to mention all the keywords, all the key points that they're looking for, is it, that the employer is looking for, and and you say that if they don't meet that requirement, then at least say that I can pick it up, or I'm a quick learner and I can
this kind of thing. Yeah. You need to show your respect. You need also not respect. You need to show your attitude. You can be the one who can do the work. Yeah, that's a key point. If you're not fully capable of what they are asking, yeah, that's the way to do it. But if you are fully capable of their demand, just say what you have done and what you can offer for your new company. That's it.
Good questions. A good answer there. So which
the wording don't need to be very fancy, just straightforward, because in the professional world, people don't want to waste the time to understand the meaning behind it. It's just very straightforward, especially in Australia. It's very important. Yeah,
just use simple English, but to the point, isn't it? To the point.
Yeah. Yeah, and also this is I think this is a kind of a culture barrier for the overseas students, because we come from like Asian culture, which is heavily influenced by the Confucianism. So, but actually, it's always confused people. So
Tell us why do you say that? That's funny.
Really, because I don't know which country I come from originally.
I'm from Vietnam.
Vietnam. Oh, the same. In terms of the mindset, we share a lot of things that are same. But in the Western world, people don't want to try to interpret your hiding meaning. People want to straightforward. People just want to spot on what you're saying. And if you have two demand or maybe three demanding, maybe for 4 or 5, just make some the bullet point. First, I need dun 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 dun. Second, dun dun dun. 3, 4, 5, 5. That's it. You don't need to to just muck around all the other irrelevancies. Just do whatever they ask. That's it.
Wow. So you mean again the culture?
Yeah, it's a kind of a culture thing. It's a culture barrier. But yeah, when you stay here for long enough, you will immediately get it.
So was it hard for you in the beginning when you join them? Was it impacting your work in any way, that the culture difference? Do you feel that when you first started?
Oh yeah, of course. Actually, in the long term, I think everyone can get a job. Just a matter of time. You get it early or get it late. But in terms of long-term professional development, the culture is kind of critical. Actually, sometimes I'm still struggling with this. But this is my finding, and I just need a solution. But hopefully I can work it out.
Yes.
Yeah, because in the workplace, especially in my first company, all my colleagues except one Chinese, all of them, like 25 or 27 people, they are all Australian local, and when they're talking, they just they talk in a different way. And when they talk to me, kind of everything was slowed down, and that's good. But culturally, it's still when they're talking about rugby, when they talk about cricket, initially it's really hard to understand, but after time you can just gradually pick it up. But still, it's really hard to understand the whole big image of that.
Yeah, I understand. I got the same issue as well. So I'm still working on it, just like everyone else. We're all working on it, right?
Yeah.
Which brings me to the next question, Fuchun, is when someone looking for a job in mechanical engineer, because as you said, it's so vast. What some of the job titles do you think they can look for? Is it always mechanical engineer, or sometimes they can use another keywords that they can find different opportunities?
I think the best one for the fresh graduate is project engineer. What project engineer does is mainly focused on site, and a project engineer is the quickest way to get your real experience. If you get all your experience on paper from the textbooks, that's nothing. It doesn't work because you don't know how the real world is working. So my first suggestion is apply for a project engineer job. Even it's hard, you need to wake up early, like 7 or 8 in the morning, or 7 or 6 or 7 in the morning, and you're working with some tradie. But it's a good training. Actually, I think it's more precious than your 4-year study in university. Wow. And after maybe 2 or 3 years of hard working, definitely it's hard. On-site work is hard.
Project engineer is one of them, right?
Highly recommended.
Yeah. Is there any other?
That's a way to get your experience very, very quickly. You're working on site for 1 or 2 years, I think the experience you get from on-site is kind of equivalent to 4 or 5 years when you're sitting in the office. Yeah, if you really want to develop a solid career or development, professional development in your industry, I think that's the best way to start with. Yeah.
How about draft person? Do you think they can start working as a drafts person and then work their way up as well? I hear someone tell me recently that sometimes because there are more demand for a draft person than an engineer, so sometimes they can work as a
Of
draft
course.
person first,
Yeah,
and then
it's
work
true.
their way up.
And
Is that
yeah, and actually a lot of people, they start their professional career with a draft title, and they gradually get more experience and they develop to engineer, this kind of thing. Yeah, it's quite common in Australia as well, and that's still the same. If you don't know what you are drafting, it's still problematic. you can make very serious mistakes, and you will be always struggling. Should I do this? Should I do that? How to interpret the hand markup to a real drawing? This kind of things. Yeah, on-site experience is invaluable.
wow, fantastic,
Yeah,
fantastic.
it doesn't matter if you do a drafter or engineer. Yeah, just do just being on site for maybe 1 or 2 years. That's really really helpful.
So, which we probably the last two questions here is which industry or which areas that you think that have not been so much impacted by the COVID? Like, because I see or I hear a lot of companies have been impacted by the COVID-19, and but in your industry, in engineering, mechanical engineering, is there certain area that is actually quite COVID proof and they still do very well?
Yeah, just look at Amazon, Jeff Bezos. Yeah, I think IT is basically IT and logistics, but logistics is not relevant to mechanical. My personal recommendation is if you can get a chance into to working a data center or something similar or something around data center, that will be very good, very valuable, because I think this year's the data center HVAC system, data center heat dissipation system are still quite demanding and still developing quite very quickly. Not like a real building service. Building service is kind of stagnated for quite some years, and anything related to data, anything related to data center, anything related to information technology is kind of still improve very quickly, and probably that's my next interest, but I haven't got a chance to step into that interest as that industry yet. So
what you're saying
probably.
Data centers, they do need mechanical engineer as well, you see?
Yeah, of course. Data center, their first priority, of course, is data, is their server, their IT infrastructure, this kind of things. But what behind is, if you do mechanical, you will know every electrical component is generating heat, and the heat dispersion is top priority, except their own professional. So data center requires a lot of electricity. Data center requires a lot of ventilation system to disperse the heat, just to maintain their equipment in a good condition. This kind of thing. So a mechanical engineer can do something. Yeah, definitely.
Wow. I mean, what you just mentioned there, I don't think the university actually teach that.
Yeah, of course. I think that's why I told you in the very beginning. The system is is corrupted. The system is not good. People want you to want you to work, but they don't give you a chance to get your experience. And it's a system. It's a system problem. It's not your own problem, but there will be always a way to working around it.
Yes, which brings probably the last questions here, Fuchun, because a lot of our students, when they apply for jobs, they got hearing a lot of no's. So a lot of the time people say no, employer, they don't hire them because they don't have enough experience or whatsoever reasons. So what do you usually do? How do you cope with rejections? How do you cope with people say no to you? If you were a graduate all over again and you apply for jobs and everyone just starts saying no to you, how do you cope with that? How do you handle that?
I think that's part of your life, because all the people, I mean, I didn't mean not all the people, but most of the people, we are just ordinary people, right? We are not the top 1% or 0.1% of the smart guys. So that's kind of normal. You will experience, and you will still be experiencing some negative feedback, negative things in your life. It's kind of a it's kind of a mental training.
Exactly.
Yeah, just treat it as a mental training, and just keep working on it. Everyone can make it. Everyone can pass that line. And the key point is just as I mentioned before, do your cover letter correctly and do your resume very carefully, and you will find one. And also just show your capability and just show your attitude. Yeah.
So what you're saying is just keep going, keep pushing, keep positive.
Last year people say, because a lot of people was out of employment, and people say, when you're out of job, looking for a job is your full-time job. So but it's true, it's quite right.
Exactly. One bonus questions here is because I have some of my students, they ask me, is it easy to ask for the internship with engineering firms? So since you work as a mechanical engineer yourself, do you think companies nowadays are open for volunteer or internship, or they don't have time for that? They're too busy to
From my personal experience, I did involved of some internship project, but the problem is I found these days the young girls, they are just not patient enough to learn this at work. Actually,
can you elaborate on that?
Please? This give the employer a very bad image of the younger generation. But actually, I know they will be better. They will be someone more capable. And the problem is, if you find an internship, just show up on time and just ask the senior or ask your colleague whatever questions you are not unsure and you don't have a answer of, this kind of thing. Just show your reliability. People want you to be reliable. People want you to be accountable, and so if you can show this kind of a basic working working attitude, the people love to help. Actually, I did teach at least two internship in Canberra to how to do the drawings, everything like that. But the problem is these guys, they just didn't show after 1 or 2 weeks. The thing is too boring. This is what they are not interested of this kind of things. It's actually it's hurt the company. Yeah. So yeah, if you are the employer, you experience few things like this, or if you experience things few times like this, yeah, you will, yeah, automatically you will reject the internship. Yeah, just be good, just be reliable on your internship. And the thing is, the opportunities are actually always there, because the good thing of Australia is the labor. Your salary is relatively high, and some of the companies, they want the internship. They want to offer internship to young engineers, to young graduates, to develop their skill, and at the same time to save some money for the company. Yeah, there's always a financial perspective involved in this. So
Oh, I
yeah,
got you.
yeah. So but my personal recommendation is don't do it for free. Yeah, because everything has a value, especially in capitalism. Everything has a value. Time has a value, effort has a value, and just show your capability, and I think most of them, they will reward you very fairly. So don't be afraid of asking for a fair payment for your internship. But if you really can't find one, just do it for free. But at the first place, don't ask it for free. You can do this for free. You can do that for free. But yeah, don't do it like.
Wow, I think that advice is really valuable, because I think a lot of the students, they sell themselves short. Is they, rather than trying to tell them what they can do, they just always go by default. Let me work for free. Yeah, so that's the issue.
Actually it's not a case, because for like an established business, the cost of internship, you know, it's not that significant. It's kind of a very small money, and if you value yourself for nothing, so they will not value you. So if you charge a high price, they will value you. Oh, and they will think, now this guy can do something, and this little one can be something very contributive. So
Hey, well, that's very true. That's very true.
yeah.
Is there any one or two last advices for people who are trying to find mechanical engineer job, Fuchun, that you think that they should think of when they apply, just before we finish the day?
Yeah. And first of all, I still want to repeat my few of my points. First question is, ask yourself, now, do you really want to be a mechanical engineer, or do you really want to working in mechanical related industry? Yeah, that's the first point. Because in the long term, if you don't really like it, if you can't really do it well, and if you take the job, if the opportunity come to you, and you will be suffering all the day, it's not good experience. I saw some people have this kind of issue. I think in the long term, you will have some even physical healthy issue. So
first, like overtime, you have to work a lot of overtime, is it? That's what you said.
First of all, it's not only about overtime, but if your overtime really pays you well, that's fine, because overtime, it doesn't happen every day, but sometimes because of the urgency of the job, it can be kind of overwhelming, but it's not always the case. And also, if you overtime every day, just change another job, right? That's not a big issue. But the key point is if you really like it or not. Even if you don't really like it, if you don't really into it, you can still do it. But there's condition. The condition is, can you do it good? Can you do it well? If you are struggling, there's no point. You can do some business or some other things, not this, because this industry involves a lot of accountability. You need to be very detailed, and if you make mistakes, because the result can be very, very what's that called? Disastrous. Yeah. So the key point is if you like it, just do it. If you don't like it, but you are smart enough to be a good one, and yeah, that's fine. You can just do it because you can handle it very easily, because it's and not give you some very stressful time. Yeah, if you answer yes to these questions, then you can just find one. You will, yeah, eventually you will find one. It's not really a big deal.
Got you.
Yeah.
Wow. Thanks for all the sharing today, Fuchun. We really appreciate your time.
No worries.
Really, really helpful. And I'm sure that my students or my international student and migrants can learn from you, and hopefully can do what you have said. But thank you so much for coming today. And I look forward we stay in touch. And I'm in Hobart, so you come to Tasmania, you know, new friend now. And,
okay, cool.
come to Brisbane, I
No
catch up
worries.
with
Yeah, thank you for inviting me to your podcast. Actually,
Sure.
yeah, I like to share some things with people, and actually, I do have a YouTube channel. Share something, yeah, about culture, Eastern and Western things. Yeah.
Oh, wait, what is your YouTube channel? I can put in the description. People can subscribe to it. What is
don't need to. It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant to your topic. Some other random things.
Sure.
Yeah, I like to share with people, because when you're sharing more to people, actually you sometimes a lot of times you will inspired. Inspired or inspired by others. So it's kind of
People more inspired.
Yeah, win-win. Yeah, double win. You win, your listeners win. So it's a really good.
Wow, thank you for that. You're very kind. You're very generous. Because a lot of people I know, once they reach there, they don't want to share. They kind of keep it to themselves. So it's really refreshing to hear someone in the industry to share the true picture. Very, very exciting for us.
Okay, cool. Hopefully it works. Hopefully it's helpful, and hopefully your good wishes to your business and to your student. Yeah,
for sure.
Hopefully they can establish into the industry and build a really nice life. Good.
So thank you so much. Have a good one. Take care.
Okay,
Thank you.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.